ordinarily good suffer? We modern readers think we've found a contradiction. That's because we think of Proverbs either as individual standalone promises or commands, but usually they are neither. Each is a description of some aspect of how life works. One proverb on marriage, taken all by itself, seems to apply to every instance. A later proverb, however, reveals that there are some marriage situations in which a different practice is required. Only taken and fitted together, with each one modifying the others, as the parallel clauses do the proverbs yield a full, multidimensional picture of a particular topic. Proverbs, then, give up their meaning only cumulatively. No one saying gives you the whole picture. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 19 says that servants simply can't understand the reason they should do things, so you just have to be very strict with them. This seems to be a sweeping statement about their capabilities, but Proverbs chapter 17, verse 2 tells us that a wise servant can end up being better than a family member. Only when the two are placed together can we see that chapter 29, verse 19 is not talking about all servants and employees, but rather about those with an unresponsive, sullen attitude. So if we read Proverbs' various statements on the subject altogether, we can see many larger points. In chapter 12, we are told that the path toward disaster can seem to be the right one to a fool, but in chapter 16, that the disastrous road can appear to be right to anyone. In other words, sometimes, even if you have done due diligence, your choices may still go wrong, because it is a broken world. The wise know that sometimes all paths may run ill. As we'll see, there is an order God put into things when He created the world and by which we must abide. But on the other hand, this is a fallen world, distorted by sin, and the wise know that the created order does not always work, nor is it always easy to discern. Only altogether do the Proverbs bring us a wise, nuanced, theologically rich, many-faceted view of the world. Proverbs as pedagogy. Many have concluded that the Book of Proverbs was originally a manual for the instruction of young men. The addressees are always sons. If that is the case, then it makes sense that we should have warnings against predatory, adulterous women in chapters 5 through 7, but no analogous warning about predatory, adulterous men. Modern readers sometimes chafe, therefore, at how male-oriented the book is. We should not conclude from this, however, that Proverbs is more negative about female character than male, or that women should not be instructed in wisdom while men should be. We have seen that the creation and dissemination of Proverbs took a great deal of artistry and deep learning, yet in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 8, chapter 4 verse 3, chapter 10 verse 1, and elsewhere, it is both father and mother who are instructing their son. The mother was an authoritative voice along with the father. This surely means that daughters as well as sons must have been trained in the terse poetry and epigrammatic wisdom of Proverbs. Indeed, the idealized wife of Proverbs chapter 31 verse 26 speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. These are technical terms meaning she speaks at length with great solemnity and imparts the wisdom of the ages. So while the original readers of Proverbs were male, not female, the wisdom and training of this book nevertheless applies to everyone. We should, however, never forget that Proverbs was written not for private reading, but as a manual to be worked through in a community of learners with older, wiser mentors. At the very least, then, we would like to urge you to use this daily devotional together with a group of friends. Here is a suggested way to do this. Choose one or more friends and agree to use the devotional together, each listening to the same reflection individually, in private, on the same day. At the end of each reflection, there is a question that helps you think more personally about how the teaching applies to your life. Write the answer to the question in a journal. Then write answers to 2 additional questions about the day's Proverbs in your journal, unless your response to the first query has already included them. The 2 additional questions are: 1. Where in your life or the life of someone else have you seen this observation illustrated?